No cheesy intros this time. I'm just very grateful to spend some time with this car. Honestly, it's been on my bucket list ever since Quickshift.club started. The Z4 has always been in the wish list, and I feel so lucky to have an opportunity to spend a week with this, live with it, drive it in a variety of conditions, and now I can share my opinions with you. Welcome everybody to the 2023 BMW Z4 M40i. Front end of the Z4 is extremely striking, extremely handsome if I might say. It's not the typical, oversized grills that BMW has been putting in all their cars nowadays. This is small, compact, and it's got lots of cuts and creases on the bumper and on the hood as well. It looks really good. This color masks some of the cuts and creases in the bonnet, but I don't mind because this paint, Thunder Night Metallic as it's called, is one of the best paints I've seen on any press car I've driven. In the sun with the perfect lighting, it really pops. Not the best lighting today with the clouds for this paint, and I'm not sure how much it's showing on camera, but trust me, when you see it in person, it will definitely make you smile. The grille is very nice. It's all blacked out because this is the shadow edition. If you get the regular with the non-shadow, the grille is in a brushed aluminium finish, which I also really like. And even same for the additional parts on the lower part of the bumper, which is blacked out. That would have been in a brushed aluminium shade as well. I don't mind this black. It looks really good and it contrasts really well with this paint. If you come to the side of the Z4, this G29 chassis code, it looks really good, and you notice that it's a very compact car, but the Z4 has always been that, the quite essential two-seater small convertible, and the side profile silhouette looks really good. Honestly, with the top down like I have right now, it stands out on the road. You can actually peek in the interior as well, this white ivory interiors which look really good, and you've got some fantastic looking 19-inch wheels. You have a silver lip around it, so the wheel is black, but you've got a nice little silver lip, and you've got some nice looking blue calipers. The blue calipers slightly contrast with this paint. Maybe in another striking paint it would look even better, but again, it just looks so good. You've got some functional vents as well near the door, and I apologize for the car being really dirty from the side, but I tried my best to keep it clean. In fact, I got it washed 1 hour before shooting this video, but the rain gods decided to shower us and the car is like this. Nonetheless, the car still looks really good. The rear design is a complete opposite design philosophy to the front, where you have a very long bonnet. The rear is extremely small and short, very less overhang. This helps with, I think, weight distribution, if I'm not wrong. You've got some nice cuts and creases, and you've got twin pipes which sound really good. It's the real deal. The M40i with the same engine, with the same tune, had a lot of fake pops and bangs. This is all genuine. I can verify that. I've been driving with the roof down and I've been hearing every single crackle and pop, and it definitely makes you giggle like a child. You've got some M40i and Z4 badges, which is in a brushed aluminium, which is reserved for the M40i cars. If you get the 30i, it will just have regular black badges, not in this brushed finish, which is reserved for the M40i. Again, what can I say? It looks really good, and even the roof mechanism, now that it's folded, you can see it's very cleanly integrated into the rear and the side on the in the three quarters of the car. It's not intrusive anyway, and even when you use the mechanism to fold or open the roof, there is no extra drama where the boot is also opening otherwise to accommodate the roof. None of that business. It's very clean, very nice, and as I said, it's one of the better looking BMWs in the market today. Z4's interior is very aesthetic pleasing, if I can say, especially in this spec. I like this white ivory seats. It's very nice. It's also sports seats, so you can see it's got fixed headrests, but you've got lots of adjustments for upper back, lower back, everything. You've also got manually extendable under thigh support, which is very useful, and overall it's a very familiar place to be if you've been in other BMWs. You've got the same 3-spoke steering wheel, but I feel like it's in its smallest version I've seen. Other BMWs, if the M Sport steering has been always a bit bigger. So since this is a smaller car, this makes a lot of sense. You do have the sort of aluminium carbon fiber finish on the center console. Obviously that is customizable. You can choose different types of wood, ash wood, all that stuff. So this is what has been chosen for this car, and I think it really works with this whole theme this car is trying to put out. You do also have M Sport stripes on the seat belts, which again, it's a very small touch, but small touches like these go a very long way. You've got the iDrive 7, so you don't have the curved big screen that iDrive 8 with the newer gen BMWs have. And I'm actually thankful because this has physical AC buttons, which I really like. You've got the screen, which has got wireless CarPlay, and the resolution is top notch. The dials could have been better, but I don't mind because they do have the information that you've always wanted. They look really good. Aluminum paddles behind the steering which feel really good. Gloss black around, leather. It just feels really good. Being a convertible, you can notice that the windshield rakes a bit more behind than it would in other cars. And with the roof down, it actually looks really good. And taller drivers are also not affected by this in any way. Space is also really not a constraint. You know, two-seater sports cars sometimes have lots of space issues. The Miata, the mini convertible, just to bring some. This is really spacious. In fact, six-footers can easily fit either driver or passenger. There are no rear seats, so you don't have to accommodate anything in the back. And that's how I like it. Why put fake seats when nobody can even sit in them? Make it a much more spacious two-seater like what BMW has been doing. Behind the wheel of the Z4 M40i. So let's get the numbers out of the way. This has the famed B58 motor, 3-liter turbo, 380 horsepower rear wheel drive. I'm just closing the window just to avoid a bit more of wind noise. But yeah, it's got the famed motor. It's very good, and it's a BMW rear wheel drive, which is like the perfect package in this day and age. Very less cars are now only rear wheel drive. Most of them are now X drive, and this sounds so good. Sport plus mode, different drive modes: comfort, eco, and sport. In sport, the exhaust valves are open, and with the roof down, you can really hear it. Whoa. Wow, you can hear all the crackles and pops. I'm not sure if the mic can capture it that well. Wow. Wow. I can do this all day. The inner child in you wakes up when you're driving this car, because all you want to do is just make it crackle and pop. It's rear wheel drive. The rear is very twitchy, so especially if the road is a bit slippery like it is now because it's been raining off and on, I would not want to actually floor it at all, in mid corner or mid junction, because I'm sure the rear would lose, and you have to be really aware and really skilled to hold it. Since it is also a rear wheel drive, it snaps bad. So you have to be very, very careful with all this. You can hear the crackles and pops. I've been driving it only on rough roads, and the suspension, even in Sport Plus, is very, very comfortable. It's very supple, and the seats, considering this is low profile, low slung, it rides really well. The engine is also pretty efficient if you drive it on highways. In the city, not so, though I have been stuck in some very, very bad jams. But otherwise, I've been averaging 11 to 12 liters per 100 in the city, and on the highways about 6 to 7 liters, which is really commendable. Wow, you can see the rear just wants to step out all the time, and it's always on boost. The gearbox engine is such a joy, and I can keep on driving this car all day. BMW has absolutely killed it with the driving package of this car. It's just so fun. I've been wanting to drive this car. I have not been let down. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. In conclusion then, the 2023 BMW Z4 M40i. Long name, small car, but it delivers in a lot of thrill. Honestly, I've been driving this car in a variety of situations. I drove it in city, I drove it on highways, I drove it on some back roads like this. It's so good. This car is not meant to be practical or, just making sense. This is a car that you buy with your heart. And with your heart, this car will definitely pull all the strings of your heart. The only thing that might hurt you a bit is the price tag. With the options this car has, with the paint, the interior, the wheels and everything, it stands at $88,000 Canadian. This is before taxes, which is definitely a bit on the steeper side for a two-door convertible. And I mean, there are much more cars available once you go closer to the 100,000 mark. The biggest rival of this car is probably the sister car that this car is based on, which is the Toyota Supra. It's much cheaper, but you always do not get the BMW badge. So it all comes down to what your priorities are. Personally speaking, if I want the market for a two-door convertible, there is still nothing like the Z4. In fact, we're not even sure if BMW is going to make a next generation. So while you're at it, we should have as much fun as we can with this generation, because the Z4 is definitely an iconic name.